Hello, my amazing Algebra Half students. This is Mrs. A, and I love math. And today we're working on lesson 35, which is multiple unit multipliers. And this one is a short lesson too. So we're going to learn to turn or convert 360 inches into yards. So we have to think about some facts that we know. We know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. Okay. And we know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. Okay, so now when we do this, we could do this using 1 unit conversion if we remember that there are 36 inches in a yard. But suppose we only remembered these. Okay, so then we can use 2 unit conversions instead of just 1, and we can put them together in such a way as to end up with yards as our final answer. So when we start with inches and we're going to multiply by something to turn the inches into feet, since we want to go to feet on our way to yards, we're going to want feet on top. So we're going to say, instead of 12 inches is 1 foot, we're going to say 1 foot is 12 inches. Okay, so when we are using a unit conversion like this, we can unit multiplier, we can flip it any way we need to in order to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish. So since I want to cancel inches, I want inches on the bottom. And since I want to wind up with feet, I want feet on the top. So let's erase some of this. And we're going to multiply by 1. And that's what a unit multiplier is. It stands for 1 because I want inches on the bottom and I want feet on the top. And I know that 12 inches is 1 foot. Okay, so this is equal to 1 because 12 inches equals 1 foot, and something divided by itself is 1 and doesn't change anything. But now, look what happens. Inches cancels inches. I'm left with feet, and now I'm on my way to yards. So I'm going to multiply, and remember we said down here that there were 3 feet in a yard, but I want yard coming out of this whole process. So I want yards on the top. Okay, so I want yards on the top. I want feet to cancel. So I want feet on the bottom. Then I have to make it true. 3 feet is 1 yard. And now my feet cancels feet, and I'm left with yards. So now if I will do this whole process, I will find out how many yards 360 inches is. Okay, so we're going to start. Remember, 360 is in the numerator. So 360 divided by 12, 36 divided by 12 is 3. So 360 divided by 12 is 30. So this is 30, and then 30 divided by 3 again is 10. So 360 inches is 10 yards. Okay, now we could have done that in 1 step if we had said 360 inches is multiplied by 36 inches on the bottom, 1 yard on the top. Then we would have been able to do it in 1 step. And this is true, isn't it? A yardstick is 36 inches long. So now, inches cancels inches. We're left with yards. So now, 360 divided by 36 is 10. And we did it 2 different ways and came up with the same answer each way. Okay, for example 2, we are supposed to convert 1.4 kilometers to centimeters. And they tell us to use 2 unit multipliers. Okay, well, I know that kilometers are big because 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. And I know centimeters are small because 100 centimeters makes 1 meter. So I'm trying to get from kilometers to centimeters, and I'm going to make the changing spot at meters. So I'm going to first go to meters and then go from meters to centimeters. So I'm going to multiply by 1, and I want my kilometers to cancel, and I want to wind up at a stopping point of meters before I go on to centimeters. So I know that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Okay, so then when I multiply, my kilometers will cancel. I'm left with meters. And now I'm going to centimeters. So I want centimeters to be out here. So I'm going to multiply again by 1. And this time I want to get meters to centimeters. So I want meters to cancel. I'll put that on the bottom. I want centimeters to come out of the process. So I'll put centimeters on the top. My meters are going to cancel. But before I do that, I need to make this a true statement because it doesn't equal 1 yet. I know that there are 100 centimeters in every meter. So now I can cancel my meters and my meters. And now I have kind of a roadmap on how to get to centimeters. I take 1.4. I multiply by 1,000. I multiply again by 100. And I come out with my answer. So 1.4, remember when I'm multiplying a decimal by 1,000, I'm going to move the decimal point 3 places to the right. So that's going to go 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be 1,400. But then I'm going to multiply by 100. And that's going to move the decimal place 2 more places to the right. So now I'm going to erase that one right now. We're going to have 2 more zeros because of the 100. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros tacked onto my 14. 14 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros is 140,000. Okay, so I really like what the Saxon book does here is once you've learned the process, the Saxon book allows you to write parentheses instead of multiplying big numbers altogether. So we're going to see that in this one. This is our last example, and then it'll be time for you to go do your homework. Okay, this section had no practice problems. So we get to do 3 examples and then go do our homework. All right, so we're going from miles to inches. We're starting out with 24 miles, and I'm to use 2 unit multipliers. And so we're going to say that the first one is going to go from miles to feet, because you should know that there are 5,280 feet in a mile. But since I started with miles, I want to cancel miles. So mile, and I'm making a stopping point at feet before I go to inches, because I know a conversion unit or a unit multiplier for feet and miles. So I'm going to put feet up here. And then I'm going to make this true. 5,280 feet is 1 mile. So now my miles will cancel miles, and I'm in feet. And then to get from feet to inches, which is where I'm trying to head, I am going to need to get rid of feet. So I'm going to put feet on the bottom. And inches is what I want to be left with at the end. So I'm going to put inches on the top. Then I have to make it true. There are 12 inches in 1 foot. The feet cancels the feet. I'm left with inches, which is what I want my final answer to be in. We were going from miles to inches, and now with our unit multipliers, we've done all of the work. And guess what? In the Saxon book, you don't have to multiply all those big numbers together. They're going to let you leave the answer 24 times, we're going to put these in parentheses because that's what they like to do, 5,280 times 12 inches. And that's the way they let you leave the answer, which means that they're more concerned about your ability to get there than they are about you being able to multiply a few numbers together. Isn't that fun? So I do want you to make sure that you are writing down your unit multipliers, because this is not something we do in our head. The reason being is as you get higher and higher in your mathematics, you're going to have complicated problems that you won't be able to do in your head. So we want to start now working on that process of learning how to use unit multipliers to make our conversions accurate and fast. And that is all there is to that lesson. I hope you had fun learning about unit multipliers. And this is Mrs. A, and may God bless your day.